it's pretty good. You could switch to like position of
Creature
monsters.
swap.
Yeah. So like in the LCS, I was playing Prank Kids. My opponent was playing Drytron, and I made my Battle Butler in the far left, and he summoned the Transversor, and I tried to pop it, and I couldn't because what it points to and itself, if it's pointing to something, can't be destroyed by card effects. So I wasted my Battle Butler.
You are my friend. I don't hear you.
Welcome to Gaming Universe.
Thank you so much.
What's going on?
Welcome back to Almost So Angry, back with Henry with a brand new.
Drytron deck profile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean this deck is pretty good. Like I'm still playing Prank Kids, but I think that this deck has some cool potential, and I wanted to test it out. You know, it's always important to test out what the other good decks are, so that you know how to play it from another perspective.
I agree, 100%.
So yeah, I think this deck is really cool. Kind of reminds me of like Mermail. Like there's like the fairies that are like dragoons, the Atlanteans, and then there are like the Drytrons, which are like the Mermails. So it's like you need two halves of your engine in a way, but it's very rewarding. So I think the deck is very resilient as well. So I'm going to show you what I'm playing. It's very like, I guess it's kind of like standard in a way. A couple cards here and there are off, but just go into it and show you how I view the deck.
Okay, awesome.
Let's get into the Drytron monsters. So we play pretty standard, just 3 alpha, 3 zeta, and then we play one of the other ones, 1 gamma, 1 delta, and 1 beta. So one thing that Jesse Cotton said that I agree with is that you want different names in your hand. You don't want to just draw the same ones because then it's redundant. And you also play triple Nova and triple Fafnir and triple Emergency to get into your names. So you essentially have these 9, and then you have 9 more ways to get to them. So it's like you're playing 18 total, which is pretty good, and you can get to either one of these 3. Of course. So this one, they all special by attributing a Drytron or a ritual monster from field or hand, and they can summon from hand or graveyard. So this one tributes and searches a ritual monster. This one searches a ritual spell. This one summons another Drytron from the graveyard. This one, if you have a ritual spell or a ritual monster in your hand, you can reveal it to draw a card. And this one returns a banished from the graveyard to the graveyard. This one isn't so good, but it's like playing another danger name. It's kind of like the same as seeing like a Burning Abyss name. Like even though the effect isn't that good, it's a name, so therefore it's worth playing. So yeah,
They look the same.
Yeah, they look really
my
similar.
God.
It gets me like really like tight when I side out the wrong card. So yep. So we play 9, and then for the ritual monsters, we only play 4. Unfortunately, I like ritual monsters, but a lot of them suck.
Wow, ritual deck with
So-
only 3 4.
Yeah, so 3 Ben 10, pretty obvious. Like this is the bread and butter of the deck, kind of like Block Dragon. It's like Atlantean Dragoons. Natasha is like, everyone's playing it, but it's how you win going second. So if it goes to graveyard, you banish a Ben 10 from your graveyard, take control of one of your opponent's monsters, and then you summon this from your graveyard. You gain life points every time. So it's a really good card, and the fact that it's searchable is kind of busted. So yeah, I don't play the Draco Nids, the Ritual, the Drytron Ritual. I don't think that card is very good or very needed. It takes a lot of setup, and it's very awkward to use it because a lot of times you have to use all your resources to summon the Draco Nids. And I don't like the theory that it's like good in certain situations. It's just not needed. So I'm playing this. I am considering playing 1 Herald of Ultimateness. I know a lot of people like Herald. I think it's overkill because you end on the board of Vanity's Ruler plus double Orange Light in hand. But what I'm thinking of doing is siding it, because I think that a lot of people, they side for Vanity's Ruler. So they play Book of Moon, things like that, and sometimes they can play through it. A lot of the Eldritch decks are playing Torrential, things like that. So I wanted a card that just negates their counter. So I'm thinking of playing Ultimateness, but for now it's not needed. But I think as the format progresses, Ultimateness could be the way to go. So that's it for the ritual monsters. Then we play some weird fairy cards. So we play Manju. If you open up one name, one Drytron name, sometimes you have to go into this to make a Union Carrier. So you use your normal summon. But if you open up multiple names, you get to summon Vanity's Ruler.
Ooh,
So
there you
Vanity's
go.
Ruler, of course, locks your opponent out of special summoning. And usually if they don't add it in one turn, they die next turn because you make Brawl Sword and kill them. And then I guess like a little tech is I play Chaos Valkyria. So this is needed if you only open Zeta if you only open up Zeta and Ben 10, because what happens when you open up Zeta and Ben 10 is you get one name on the field, and then Ben 10 searches a fairy, so a lot of people search the Manju, but then they waste their normal summon to get to the Manju. So I just search the Valkyrie, and then if you have any light or dark, you special summon the Valkyrie, and then you go into your Union Carrier, and then you're gonna have the ritual spell from Zeta. So you get to search Vanity's Ruler off the second Ben 10, and then you get to normal summon it. So it's a way to make Vanity's Ruler if you only open up Zeta and Ben 10. So that's why I thought it was good. It's just like another extender going second. And then outside of that, I play one Petite Angel. You have to play this for the Ava.
Ava!
Yeah, so I mean this card is really good. If you discard it with Orange Light, you have to search different names. So you search Orange Light and this. I think this is a little bit better than the Purple Light because it's like it can be a normal summon going first, and you already play too many bricks. So if this is in your first turn hand, it's at least a Rhoda. So then we play the True Brick Dawn Knight. If this is sent to graveyard from Medianus, or if it's sent to field grave, you foolish any Drytron, so you can send the Gamma, and the Gamma gets you very far. So yeah, Dawn Knight's really good. It's like the True Brick of the deck, but kind of needed. And then for hand traps, so I'm playing Triple Ash, Double Bell, only 2 Orange Light, and 1 Lancia. So like a lot of people, what they're doing is they're maxing out on this card, and they're maxing out on Lancia, like Jesse Cotton did, but Lancia doesn't interact with every deck. It's average against some decks, so having it in your main deck to search game 1 is good, but I just don't think it's like correct to play cards like that in your main deck. So I'm playing 1 to search it if I know it's relevant. Orange Light is good because you can discard any other fairy, negate, destroy, but it requires setup. Like you need to have another fairy, and I don't think playing a lot of fairies is so good because you need your Drytrons to really play the game. So I decided to play more cards like Bell and Ash because they interact better with a lot of the power cards like Nadir's Servants. They negate the Virtual Worlds, which is a really big problem for this deck, and stops King Long or Kowloon. And yeah, so these are very relevant. And one thing that I do, which is cool, if I get drolled, a lot of people don't know what they do if they get drolled. So if I get drolled, I actually you're always gonna have like a name, right? So you're gonna always have like one of the level 1s. It could be Alpha, it could be any of them. If I open up a hand trap and I think that if they double hand trap me or if they like droll me where I can't really do anything, I'll actually normal summon an Ash or a Bell, and then I'll have this and I'll synchro into Herald of the Arclight. Oh. So and then like on their turn, I have a negate. If they just go battle phase, run over it, then they waste their battle phase. And if they don't like set up a broken board, then I kill them next turn. Because when this dies, I search a Ben 10 or a ritual spell, whatever I'm missing. So it's pretty good. I like it. It's like a play that you can do. I'm not saying that I do this every time. But again, if you haven't used your normal summon yet, if you're locked out of Vanity's Ruler, if you're hand trapped and you can't really go any farther, then sometimes that's a good play because you get an Omni Negate and you get a search. So on your opponent's turn. So I think it's pretty good. And then for the power cards, I play triple Cyber Emergency, triple Nova. I play triple Fafnir and 2 Prep. So a lot of people do the opposite. They play the triple Prep and the 2 Fafnir. And, you know, that could work for certain people. But, like, my ideology with this deck is, yes, Ben 10 is really broken to get to. But drawing a bunch of Ben 10s isn't going to do anything for you if you don't have a name. And a lot of times, like, the correct thing to do is to ash the first name. Because if you don't have another name, another Drytron name, you can't really go any farther. So if you have Alpha and Ben 10, at the surface that's really good if it resolves. But if you don't have another name and they ash the Alpha, you get your Ben 10 search, sure. But you're not going to go farther. To go farther, you need a lot of names. So I just decided to play the triple Fafnir and only 2 Prep because you need to cut something for hand traps. So it's either going to be 2 of this and 3 of this or the opposite. And I thought that 5 Ben 10s was enough. Because if you open up 2 names and one of them is Alpha, or it could be Nova or Fafnir, then you get to Ben 10 anyway. So the second Ben 10 is kind of redundant after that. So Yeah, obviously, in a perfect world, I would play 3 of this, but you have to cut something to play hand traps. So, this is my power card lineup.
What's Cyber Mercy for? What does that do? Is that for Cyber Dragons?
No. This searches any of the Drytrons because they all can't be normal summon. This searches a cyber monster or a monster that can be summoned. Yeah, and then so yeah, this gets you to a name. This gets you to a name. This searches this, so it also gets you to a name. And then the double prep gets you to Ben 10 or Natasha.
Okay.
So yeah, these cards are all pretty good. And then the one-ofs, I play 1 Foolish because it also gets you to a name, and then only the 1 Ritual spell because it recurs itself. You don't really need more than that. So yeah.
That's for Natasha, right?
I can summon Ben 10 too.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty standard. So that's it for the deck. It's 40 cards, and we'll go into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we play some Exes, we play Fucho, and the Lyrilusk. I actually found out that you do need both of these. So like this is unaffected by everything. And if you get drilled, you could also end on this sometimes, and you can survive. And then this one could attack directly. If your opponent has all attack position monsters, you attack directly. Then main phase 2, make the Downerd, which I think is necessary. And then you make Zeus. So sometimes, like if they have a Dryden, then you don't want to make this because this isn't unaffected like Fucho is. But like if they have a Dryden, you can like make the Fucho, then make the Zeus, and then quick play, like send all their cards.
I like this name.
Yeah, Fucho. So the Exes, and then for the links, we play Link Rebo, Relinquish Anima for the Link ones, which is kind of comes up when you open up Nova, and then you play some Nightmare cards, and then you play. This is very important. The Herald.
What is this?
The Mirage Lights. So sometimes if you can't make Ruler and you have to normal summon the, Manju, you can make this with Ava in hand, so it negates a spell or trap. It's your only way to answer Mystic Mine.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's good. Like if you send Ava from the field, you can search an Orange Light and a Petite, and you get like another negate. So it's good. And then play Union Carry. This is like your bread and butter combo.
My favorite.
You attach the Dawn Knight. Everyone pretty much knows what it does by now. So those are your Link 2s. Oh, and then I play the Geonator card. Geonator Transversor.
Oh, this card's crazy.
Yeah, this card's pretty good. So it's good against Dragoon if they put it in the middle or on the far left. It's pretty good. You could switch like position of
Creature
monsters.
swap.
Yeah. So like in the LCS, I was playing Prank Kids. My opponent was playing Drytron, and I made my Battle Butler in the far left. And he summoned the Transversor, and I tried to pop it, and I couldn't because what it points to, and itself, if it's pointing to something, can't be destroyed by card effects. So I wasted my Battle Butler. So it was really powerful in that interaction. So if I ever play against Prank Kids, I'm turboing into this card. So, but yeah, that's pretty good. Then for the power, I play Unicorn, Access Code, and I play Boral Sword. Because sometimes this can't game your opponent. This always pretty much can. If you have Bani's Rule in this, pretty much always game.
K-Town.
And then, of course, the aforementioned Herald of the Archetype. So that's it for the extra deck. And now for the side deck, I play Triple Droll. It's for the mirror match. It's good for Virtual World because you don't want to have your opponent make calamities on you. It's not fun.
Is this the best card against your deck?
Yeah, best card against my deck for sure. The good players can they can't really play around it, but they can adapt to those situations. So, I play the second Lancia and the third Orange Light. The reason why I side the third is because, like, game 1 it's okay, but when I'm playing against Virtual World, I'm putting in the second Lancia, so I higher my fairy count by 2, putting in more, so that you have more of a chance of seeing Orange Light and a fairy. And the best thing you can do is open up Orange Light against Virtual World because it's like Gamma. Like if they activate Calamities, you just negate it and destroy it. Doesn't matter if they have the trap. It's just a 1 card, negate their entire play, and then you get to start playing the game. So it's very powerful in that interaction.
It's satisfying.
Yeah, but like my main deck, I don't play as many fairies, so it's like it's so. But post sighting against Virtual World, very good. And then for going first cards, I play 2 Tactics and 1 Call By. So like ways to play around Droll. You get to look at your opponent's hands, try to make sure that they can't play the game, or Call by the Grave.
Call by the grave.
And then for back row, Lightning, Duster, and Red Reboot. And then my last little tech is I play Triple Dynamiscus.
Ooh,
so
hit me with this.
Yeah, so the reason why I play this is because like going first against Virtual World, very good. Like if you make Vanity's Ruler, they're siding for it, so they're gonna side in Forbidden Droplets. So like they're gonna have answers to your ruler because if they don't, they lose. So so that's what they're siding in against you. But if you side in Dynamiscus, you can hit their King Long. So their King Long, they banish from graveyard to negate your Vanity's Ruler, and that's how they out it. So if you just Paleozoic Dynamiscus them, not only do they lose the target for their monsters to summon onto the field, but the King Long gets banished. So it goes to graveyard, they can't use it, they can't search off of it. So it's very good. And even if they don't have the King Long, and like say they interrupted you, so you don't even have a Vanity's Ruler, you just have like random cards in your hand, maybe they drolled you, you can just set this, and then if they activate King Long, just to like use a name, you can Paleozoic the King Long so they can't use their name in hand, and they're kind of locked out. So it's pretty good against the Virtual World matchup, but it's good in other matchups too. Like it's good against like Mystic Mind decks, like Stun decks, good against Eldlick, good against back row. So I really like it. It's like another going first card, and it's not always needed, but there's certain situations where I think it's pretty good. But I'm between this card and Droplets. So anyway, but yeah, like some card choices, they're here and there. Like it really depends on what your local meta is. So it's not like there's one card that's like always correct. You know, it's like depends what you're playing against. If you're playing on Dueling Book, then you maybe play against more Drytron. If you're playing on locals, maybe you play against like more Eldlick kind of decks. You know, so it depends. Whatever's good for what you're playing against, play that. You know, but as far as the deck goes, I think you want to try to maximize the utility of your Drytron cards, and you know, Ben 10's nice, but you don't need it to play. So anyway, yeah, that's really it. That's all I have to say about the deck.
Awesome. Thank you, Henry.
Yep.
Now check out Bemani Lounge.
Bemani Lounge, we're having a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament January 1st. If this video goes up before then, we're having an EDL Pro tournament. So if you want to enter and win a Starlight Rare Triple Tactics Talent, then enter the tournament and become a rich guy.
Rich guy.
Rich guy.
Okay, thank you, Henry.
Bye.
Bye.